What's up, everyone? I just got back from the gym. I was up super early this morning. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, but the fact that I was able to get up at 6 o'clock after only getting about 5 hours of sleep and then pushing through and getting a great workout in, it just kind of sets the tone for the day. And I've always said, if you do something uncomfortable, the feeling that you get afterwards is uncomparable, and especially when you do something to better yourself, it gives you a certain amount of energy and motivation to continue on. Give me a second here, I'm still in my gym clothes. Let me get cleaned up and then we'll get back on the show. Whew, that's so much better. After a workout, nothing better than a shower. You walk out feeling clean, fresh, rejuvenated, all that good stuff. And as you can see, ever since my hair's been getting pretty long, I've been using a product from Prescott Shea, which is an all-natural cosmetics brand, but they have this certain hair wash with all natural ingredients, and it's something that you can use every day or every other day to wash your hair, and it smells like lavender and eucalyptus and all that kind of stuff, and it seems to be doing the job. I also want to give a big shout out to Will Silver, also known as Top of the Food Chain. He's who I've been working out with for the past 4 or 5 summers, and he's a big reason for the success or the progress that I've made in the weight room and physically. So I want to shout out him. We actually just did an interview together, an Undressed Jersey interview with him, and kind of taking a deep dive into his story and his background, everything from growing up on welfare to being doubted as a basketball player in high school, being told he couldn't make the university level, and then by the time he finished his 5th year at St. X, he's a 2-time All-Star, team MVP. It's one of those inspirational stories. Yeah, make sure you click the link above here to check that out, and let me know what you think. For those of you who haven't been here before, this is UndressTheStories, which is a video series that I put on where I go back and read the stories shared on the page and give my 2 cents. So if that interests you and you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button to help me get my videos out to more people. So the first story today comes from Kay Okafor, who was a football player at St. X when I was there, and he's currently playing in the CFL for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Just a little backstory from my perspective on Kay. I don't think I've ever seen an athlete like him before. He's about 6'7", 230, like, I don't know exactly how much he weighs, but he's massive, he's huge, he's strong. And I remember going to the weight room one day, and at St. X it's called the Dungeon, and it's downstairs, varsity weight room, whatever. And all I remember is seeing this guy holding 2 40-pound dumbbells, whatever they were, and he was jumping up onto a box jump. Like, it was just one of these things that you don't see every day, and not every athlete can do at his size. He's an incredible athlete, and his work ethic matches that. So my journey has been crazy. Coming from Nigeria all the way to Canada just for university was the initial plan. Then I found football, or maybe it found me, but I fell in love with the game, and it's been nothing but a blessing to me. My part is to make sure I'm always ready to take full advantage of every single opportunity that comes my way, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. The biggest thing here for me is just understanding that the way life is now isn't the way it's always going to be. If you go through life with this sort of mentality that this is the way things should be, and if they change, then you're just mad at the world, you're not going to adapt and grow as a human being. The most important thing, I believe, is to have this ability to adapt, whether that's your work or your career or school or family. A lot of times, family can be all great and happy and loving and all that good stuff, and then boom, you wake up one day and something happens to one of your family members. Like, it's just these little things that you need to be aware of that may happen, because as we all know, and if you don't yet, you'll probably find out soon, that life doesn't always go the way you plan it to. and you can't really plan for things to happen. So my biggest piece of advice would be take this with a grain of salt, and if something does change drastically in your life, don't question why it happened, just question the way that you're going to react to it. So, okay, this is short and sweet, but I think there's a lot in there, and let's get in the next one. Okay, so the next story is from JC Campagna, who played at St. Thomas University, University of Prince Edward Island, and Adirondack Thunder. So I decided to go to school and try my luck at St. Thomas because I didn't like the direction my life was going. I knew I needed to go to school and focus on adjusting the way I approached the game. I needed structure, and the boys at St. Thomas welcomed me to their family, teaching me how to be a good teammate. Playing in the CIS was one of the best decisions I've made in my life, and I know I wouldn't have lasted in pro without my college experience. After 5 years of major junior, 3 years of college, and now pro, hockey has taught me two things. The first is that there are bigger things in life. I've burned bridges with people because all I cared about was hockey, and now I'm learning to treat people with respect, regardless of who they are and what they do in life. And secondly, have fun. Hockey is so much fun, and the minute it goes from a game to a job, I will walk away. This is a great story. And I say that because there's like 3 different parts of that resonates with me, that I relate to directly. The first one was he didn't like the direction his life was going, and guess what? He made the decision to change. He made the decision to move. That's always been something big in my mind, especially since I graduated at St. FX and made the decision to go to London, England. I'm not saying everyone has the same opportunity and resources to just pack up and move somewhere. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you're going in a direction in life that you don't like, you do have the power to change that, whether that's change the friends that you hang out with, or quit your job and find a new one, or move to a new city. Yes, you might have to make certain sacrifices, but at the end of the day, you do have the opportunity to make change. The second one was, he said that there are things bigger in life, and he means that there's more to life than just hockey. The fact that he looks back and he sees how many friendships and relationships he burned because of hockey and the game, that just goes back to the post I made about ball is life. That goes without saying that sport isn't important and you shouldn't dedicate a lot of time and grow and take everything you can from sport. I'm not saying that. If you have a dream to play pro, go for it. Like, it's going to teach you so much within that journey, but don't neglect the fact that there are other things like your health and your family and your relationships and your schoolwork. That's a big one for a lot of student athletes, that they go to university and their main focus is sport, and then their grades start dropping, and then they don't end up graduating, and they're spending a lot of money and a lot of time. It's just a lot. So don't neglect other areas in your life. And then the last one was, hockey is fun and sports should be fun. And as soon as it goes from being fun to not fun, that's when you should step back and say, are you doing what you want to be doing? I remember in my last year at St. FX, it was a tough year. In my 3rd year, we went from the best team that we had with 6, 7 graduating seniors, and that was our year to win the championship. We lost in the final. Shout out Kevin Bursey. It's all love, baby, it's all love. But after that, we had a new recruiting class. I was a senior. There was 2 other seniors on the team with me. We had a ton of rookies, new players. So it was a new dynamic. And I mean, going into the season, we had this mindset of rebuild, rebuild, rebuild. And so in that season in particular, I knew I wasn't going to continue on playing pro. It almost felt more like a job to me to get up every day, practice, and go into this season with this mindset that we're just rebuilding. And so to me, you know, it honestly did start to feel more like a job than it did fun. And so because of that, I started putting less hours into the gym and getting better. I was still a captain on the team, so I still held up my responsibility to be a leader, but there was just something that was off. Like my energy, I played basketball my whole life and I've been on many teams, and in that last year, it just didn't feel strong, or genuine or passion, like the fire wasn't there. I think that had a lot to do with the fact that I didn't continue on to do a 5th year, which was an option for me. But it just goes back to have fun, and if you're not having fun, then reevaluate and continue what you're doing. So JC, thanks for sharing, bro. Let's get into the last one for today. So this one's from Chelsea Holmes of Campagna University. I was never the most athletic looking goalie out there. I've always been a pretty big person. It was to the point that coaches from other teams told his girls, "Look at her, you guys should be able to score on her." Comments like that hurt, but little did that coach know that 2 weeks after I played his team, I took my place as starting goalie for Campagna University. Growing up, I never even really thought I could be a bench warmer for a university team, but my coach and teammates throughout high school made me realize I could do it. Hard work, hours of YouTube training videos and actual training, and not letting the haters get to you pays off. It's still crazy to me to believe that I just finished my 2nd year as a starting goalie for a university team. I'm blessed to be where I am, and it just goes to show you can do anything you set your mind to. Chelsea, this is a big reason why I started Undress the Jersey, because it's literally stories like this where you see a person with a personal connection to a specific time and moment. Like the comment the other coach made about her being, "Oh, look guys, like look at her, like you should be able to score on her, she's slow, she's big," like that stuck with Chelsea. And for other people, that would just go unnoticed. Like if you weren't Chelsea and you heard that, sure, you would recognize it, but it wouldn't stick with you. Like this is just one of those stories that just makes me like, yeah, like screw those people that hated and doubted on her, because like who are you to tell someone else they can't do something? Like I said at the beginning of this episode, talking to Will Silver, he knows all about this. People hated on him and said he wasn't good enough, and that to me is just kind of like this underdog, like success, the fact that she didn't give up and she set her mind to a goal. And then look where she made, like I love, and I'm having a little difficulty getting my words out here because I just love this stuff. Like this is what sports can do to someone, is because she's gonna recognize that she accomplished something that seemed impossible, and that's gonna carry on to things for the rest of her life. Job interviews, relationships, making a difference in her community, making a difference in the world. Like sports is just one of those things. Even for me, just coming from the weight room, I look at a certain amount of weight and I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. And then when you actually do it, like it just gives you that sense of accomplishment. So yeah, this one really touches me in my heart, because you just hate to hear these stories of people being mean to another person, but the fact that Chelsea had the mental toughness to not let that affect her and prove those people wrong, it's just like yeah, you go Chelsea, yeah, I love to hear it. So that's awesome. That wraps up another episode of Undress the Stories. Went through this one pretty quickly, but I'm kind of liking the flow and energy that was in this episode. Please leave me a comment of what stuck out most to you in this episode. And like I said before, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that thumbs up button for me. I'm Tristan, signing out for another episode. Peace. Good episode. Good episode. Thumbnail? Good episode, baby.